Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking the opportunity to view my presentation. Learning beyond the classroom began long before the internet and online learning as we know it today. Using an Office timeline add-on in PowerPoint, I created a timeline depicting what I believe to be the most impactful events in the evolution of distance education. As a disclaimer, this is not an all-inclusive list by any means, and you may have events, innovations, or laws that you feel were more instrumental in transitioning distance education from letter to laptop. Also of note, not all of the important technology that was used to implement distance education is included here. However, they are still of the most significance. There are 5 generations of distance education. As illustrated, each generation overlaps with the other as new ideas, innovations, and laws change the way people were able to study from home. But like any new idea or innovation, it took time for new ways of learning at a distance to take hold. In the first generation, correspondence, I wanted to demonstrate how early in history Americans were able to participate in distance education by mail and how rapidly correspondence grew as a means of delivering education over the next decades after its introduction in the early 1880s. Although the first radio education license was issued in 1921, the 1960s and 70s brought legally required television educational broadcasts that really paved the way for distance education expansion in the second generation of broadcast radio and television. The third generation brought the realization that varied media was most effective in delivering distance education through the AIM project that began in 1964. The findings from the study were the basis for the foundation of the first Open University, which is also the title of our third generation. After their first broadcast from the UK Open University in 1971, by 1984 there were hundreds of private homeschools available. In the fourth generation, teleconferencing came on scene in the 1980s, and two-way video conferencing became more widely available in the 1990s. Distance education began to take shape for how we envision it today during the fourth generation and was finalized in the fifth generation, which is where we saw the first web browser appear in 1993. The first fully online university was established in 1995, and most Americans had access to the internet, making distance education a more realized possibility and giving people the flexibility to fit education into their lifestyle rather than the other way around. As mentioned, the timeline was designed through Office Timeline. I wanted to use contrasting colors to separate the generations and added pictures so viewers can connect the generations with how distance education was delivered at the time. I also included a voiceover and exported the presentation to a video to add similar explanations also offered here. Next, let's look at another design I created as part of the assigned module on the history and scope of distance education. The scope of distance education is wide-ranging and used by colleges and universities, K-12 schools, corporations, the military, and by millions of professionals for continued professional growth and development within their industry. Through Canva, I designed a poster to demonstrate the many facets of distance education and included facts from our textbook that show how different sectors utilize distance education and a few facts that show the vastness of distance education use. For instance, more than 60 for-profit schools have been accredited to offer more than 1,000 different vocational subjects. During 2006 to 2007, 81% of degree-granting institutions offer distance education courses. and more than 1 million K through 12 students attended one or more courses online in the 2007 to 2008 school year. Distance education is utilized by corporations for staff training and development. The military offers college degrees to soldiers in active duty through distance education, and professionals such as doctors, nurses, and accountants use distance education to enhance their knowledge and skills through continuing professional education credits. As mentioned, the poster was designed through Canva, and images were extracted from their database to provide a visualization to connect the content. Contrast and text and color were also used to make the poster visually appealing, but I wanted to keep the theme consistent throughout. Again, thank you for viewing my presentation. I hope my designs and this review illustrate all the ways distance education has advanced and expanded to meet the needs of learners across many generations and to meet the individual needs of all of its learners. Thank you.